Hello friends, welcome to the shed. I am Chevee. How are you doing today? I hope all is well with you, wherever you are in the world. Hope things are doing good. Today I want to talk to you about monkeys, and specifically two monkeys in Switzerland that are able to walk after having spinal cord injuries. Now, this topic was suggested to me a few weeks back. We did the little topic poll. And so this was, one of the viewers had this large brain dump of topics, and this was just like kind of in there. Let's talk about monkeys walking after having these implants. And at that time it was a trending, I had seen it on Reddit. I'm an avid user of Reddit, and I don't want the show to just be the front page of Reddit, right? So I didn't know what to talk about. Like, just tell you, hey, there's this cool thing where these guys took these things and now monkeys can walk. And so I just I put it on the list, as I have put all of your suggestions on the list. If you have suggestions for future topics on the show, please put those in the comments of any of my videos. Tweet them at me, at Chevee Dodd. Send me email, Chevee the Daily Shed. Call in at 304-602-7433. And let me know what you want me to talk about, and I will put it on the list, and we will get it in the queue for future episodes. That helps me out a ton. I can't even begin to explain to you how much it helps me to have you guys telling me what you want to hear instead of me having to go figure it out. If I know what you want to hear, then I'll know. So this is the thing that the person wanted to talk about. And I'm not sure if anybody has read up on this, but essentially what happened was we took two rhesus monkeys. Well, not we. I had no involvement in this. This was done by BrainGate collaboration, which is Department of Veterans Affairs, Brown University, Massachusetts General Hospital, Harvard Medical School, and the German Aerospace Center. Those are the people who funded it, I guess, but it was actually done in Switzerland. I thought I underdid that somewhere. I thought I underdid. No! I thought I wrote that down somewhere. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I did some research into this. Here we go. The researchers I'm going to brutalize this. École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne, the EPFL in Switzerland. Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Lausanne. I can read. So they took these monkeys and they purposefully injured them. Say what you will about testing on animals, lots of good will come from this. And according to all of the articles that I could read and interviews with scientists, they took an extremely ethical approach to this. They did as little harm as possible to these monkeys. They damaged the spinal cord. They did not sever the spinal cord, and they say that these spinal cords will grow back and these monkeys will have normal functionality. They just damaged them and then tested this device. And essentially what this device is, and they show, there's a picture here that I'll put on the screen that is this little tiny microchip thing that goes in the head. It says it consists of nearly 100 electrodes, and it's like tiny, placed over the motor cortex of the monkey's brain. So it detects when the monkey's trying to walk. And then there's another implant in the spinal column of the monkey's brain, and that implant actually stimulates the nerves. And this was done wirelessly. Now, brain nerve implants or brain nerve interfaces, it's nothing new. We have done that with humans, with robotic arms and that sort of thing, using the brain to think, to move things. We can do that. We know we can. And to me, that's fascinating, because that speaks to how malleable our brains are, how much our brains are capable of repairing themselves. But what this particular study does is it makes it wireless, for one. So there's just these two devices. It does say, it's kind of misleading, because I don't think that these two devices independently are what's allowing the monkey to walk. It did say in one of these that the brain implant was receiving a signal, passing that to a computer that was deciding what the monkey was attempting to do, and then if it needed to, it would activate, and yada yada yada. The cool thing here is, the thing that really is remarkable to me about this whole story is that within 2 weeks of being injured, One regained mobility after just 6 days. Put this stuff in, 6 days later the monkey was walking. Granted, it didn't have, like, all the different functions of its legs. It couldn't kick if it wanted to, for instance. It could just walk. Those were the only two signals that this device were listening for, and the only two nerve signals it was passing along. But it happened after 6 days. There was no need to cognitively retrain the monkey, which is the part that, to me, sounds amazing. Because, yes, we can put a thing on your brain, and you think about moving your arm, and eventually you'll move. And we can essentially train our brain to build new neural pathways to allow us to do things. And we've long suspected that, like for, I don't know, generations. It has been suspected that our brains are capable of rewiring themselves, and we know that to be basically true at this point. You know, we've done lobotomies. We jab somebody's frontal lobe and the person still lives. That's a pretty big deal. But this thing, just after 6 days, this monkey was walking normally. And it probably had more to do with physical rehab, with making sure the injury wasn't too painful or whatever, than it did with actually the brain figuring out, hey, if I twitch this, then I'll walk. That's the part that's amazing to me. Oh yeah, I did highlight it here. The implants, okay, hold on, here we go. In the study published Wednesday, 2 wireless implants, this was November 9th, so this wasn't this past Wednesday. 2 wireless implants work together as a brain-spine interface to communicate nerve signals between the brains and spines of the monkeys where each implant was positioned. The implants communicated with each other through a computer and enabled the brain signal to jump over the point of injury along the spine. So it's essentially like a patch. We patched the monkey's spine with electrodes. How cool is that? What is key here is that we stimulate to induce the desired movement over the animal, and they achieved it. That's what they were attempting to do, was to induce this particular twitch, which is the walking motion, and that happened. The thing they did discuss in here is it's going to be a long way. Getting movement to the lower extremities is a much bigger challenge in humans. To challenge, where was it at? Essentially, we have a lot more muscles down there and a lot more nerves that we have to be delicate with in order for us to be able to walk using this technology. But this was pretty amazing to me. I don't know. I would love to hear what you think about this. First of all, I would love to hear what you think about the idea that we can brain map and use our brain map to control motor function. Essentially, study a well person and then use their brain map to heal another person. To me, that's pretty amazing, because I've always assumed that our brains are mostly unique-ish. Like, you know, we all like to believe that we're special flowers, and so our brain is our brain, and so my thought processes are not the same as yours. But apparently, they're close enough. The regions of our brain that do certain things, breathing, motor controls, are similar enough that we can map them, and we can use that information to heal, or at least simulate healing. So I'd love to hear what you think about that. I would also love to hear what you think about the ethics of using monkeys in this way. I do want to point out, here's the, I did highlight it. We strive to minimize the impact on the well-being of the animal. After 3 to 6 months, the nerves grow to establish a natural bypass. So essentially, the monkey will heal. They didn't permanently injure these monkeys, but still they had to injure them. They had to damage this monkey's spine in order to test this. And that is an ethical thing, right? I would love to hear which way you sway. Do we allow stuff like this, you know, similar to the, you know, testing makeup on monkeys that could damage them or whatever? Do we allow this because of the implications of the fix, the implications of the scope of this sort of research? Or do we say, listen, you can't cut the spinal cord of a monkey and make it paraplegic? I don't know. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments down below. I always love hearing what you think in the comments down below. That is It's a huge part of my day. I did have one person respond when I asked about this, and that person was Benny Sperling, who said it's a very cool step towards helping physically disabled humans. And I agree with you, Benny. I agree that if we can map a monkey's brain, then we know that we can do it in humans, and it's just a matter of time. So thank you so much for being here as always. I do want to say that tomorrow was supposed to be on the calendar. If you've gone to dailyshed.com/calendar, tomorrow was supposed to be an interview I did with Peter Brown. I have not been able to get that video edited, and I feel like crud right now. I have an ear infection, so probably going to go lay down for a while, and I doubt I'm going to get it edited tonight, so I'm going to switch it for next Wednesday's topic, which is about writer's block. So if you have any thoughts about writer's block, how to overcome writer's block, what you do when you hit writer's block, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about writing, it could be about any form of creation, whether it's painting or making or Lego building. Please put that in the comments down below. We'll talk about that subject tomorrow. Thank you for being here as always. If you do have something to say, please don't forget to call in 304-602-7433 so you can be heard on the show. Thank you for being here, liking, commenting, subscribing. I love you very much, and I will see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from lotr.wiki.com. This is appropriate based on yesterday's discussion. When was The Hobbit first published? The Hobbit is a novel by J.R.R. Tolkien set in the Middle-earth. The book was first published on September 21st, 1937. And set in the years of 2941 to 2942 in the Third Age before the events of The Lord of the Rings. 1937. I thought it was 36. I was wrong.